Okay, this video is going to show you how to print return address labels using Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and then within there using the labels function and the mail merge function. So first I have to create in Microsoft Excel. I'm going to open up a Word or a blank document. I like to change the size to 100, the view size to 125 so I can see a little bit more clearly. So up here I'm going to put my column headings, in this case company, name, street, city, state, and zip. Now I'm not going to actually use all of those, but I'm going to set them up in case in the future I would want to. So under company I'm going to put our company name in the next row. Flippin' Awesome Houses, comma, LLC. In the name, I'm going to put Dave and Kelly. The street, this is the address of my company, my P.O. box. It's going to be 3980 FM 471 North Suite, which is actually just the P.O. box number, 115. The city is Rio, Medina. The state is Texas, TX. And the zip code is 78066-9998. Now you can see not all of it shows up here. If you want to see that more clearly, you just select the whole sheet by clicking in the top left corner. Go to the first column separator and double click, and it automatically adjusts the column width. Now, I know on the sheet that I'm using, the labels, there's actually 30 labels on each sheet. So I need this one on here 30 times, not counting the row number 1. So actually I need to fill this down to row 31, so I have 30 actual labels. So I'm going to highlight this entire row, edit, copy. Now I need to select row 3 and drag all the way down to row 31. And then go edit, paste. And now I've got that record in there 30 times. Okay, so I'm going to save this file and I'm going to call it return address label setup. Alright, I'm going to save that into my marketing folder so I know where that is later. Okay, now I have all my data that I'm going to actually mail merge. I saw I spelled something wrong here. So I'm going to select all of these rows, delete them, go back in and fix the spelling here. Somehow I got an extra W in there. Okay, now I can select that. Edit, copy, all the way down to row 31, edit, paste. So always proofread, that's important. Alright, so it looks like my data is accurate, so I'm going to save that. Now to mail merge and actually print, I'm going to go to open up a blank Microsoft Word document. And this is where it's a little different depending upon which version of Microsoft Word you're using. Some versions actually have up here somewhere a mailings tab. In this case, I'm going to go under Tools and select Labels. Alright, so in this middle section, I need to select which size or type of label I'm using. In this case, I'm actually using the Avery 5160. But if you have a different label, you would select Options and find your label down here, okay? And you can match that label up by checking the height and width that's on the box for the labels. In this case, a height and width of 1 inch and 2.63 inches equals, like on the box of the labels, it says 1 inch by 2 5/8. So I guess 0.63 is the same thing as 5/8. Anyway, I'm going to cancel that because I'm already using 5160. Up here in this field is where you can change your font and style and size, which you may have to do after you run your test print. and make sure everything fits on the label. Sometimes the names and addresses can be long, so you might have to come back to this step and change the font size there. Actually, I'll show you how to do that somewhere else later. Okay, so I've got my font set up, the label, and I'm going to click on Mail Merge, and it's going to open up a new document. And then over here I've got my what's called the Mail Merge Manager. So I'm not going to create a new one because I've already created the document that I'm going to be pulling the data from. So I just need to select that list. I'm going to click Get List, Open Data Source, and I'm going to go into the folder where I saved that file. I called it Return Address Label Setup. So I'm going to open that file. I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to bring a pop-up asking me which sheet or tab I want to use. So let's say you've got an Excel file that has multiple tabs at the bottom. Those are actually called sheets. In this case, I only have one, so I'm just going to select the entire workbook. Or let's say there were 5 sheets and I just wanted to work off of sheet 2. I would select it here. In this case, I'm just going to select sheet 1 because that's all I have and click OK. Now it brings up where I actually tell it which data I want to go where on the label. So under the Insert Merge Field drop down, remember I'm not going to use the company in this case or my name. All I want is the street address and the city, state, zip. So I'm going to select street and then return for the next line, city, comma, space, select state, space, zip code, and click OK. Alright, so here it looks like a mess, and that's okay. The next record is just the program telling it to grab the next row from that Excel sheet. Alright, so from here I'm kind of ready to print, but not. I want to preview it and see what it looks like. So down under here, under the Complete Merge section, I don't want to merge to printer yet because I want to make sure it looks right. I'm going to merge to New Document. And you'll see it'll bring up a new document, and I've got that return address on there 30 times. So that'll fill up a whole page of my Avery 5160 labels when I go to print it. From here, let's say you've got some information that's being cut off because it's too big. Maybe I just need to change the size. So I am going to put my cursor here. I'm going to go to File, or I'm sorry, Edit, select all. I'm going to select this entire page, and I'm going to reduce the font size to 11. Okay, and it reduced the font size, blah, blah, blah. In this case, I'm going to undo that because it looks like this will fit on there anyway. So from here, I'm actually going to do a print, just a test print. So I'm just going to print this onto a regular piece of paper, and then I can hold that piece of paper up against my label sheet and make sure everything lines up. So worst case scenario, the names are getting cut off, it doesn't fit, and you've tried doing the select all, changing the size, and it still doesn't work. Well, then the next step, if you need to go back a couple steps and change the font size from there. So I'm going to close this one, I'm going to close this one, and here's my new Word document, right? So I'm going to go under Tools again, Labels, and I'm going to go in here and change my font size from this point. Maybe I need to change it to 10 or 9. 9 would be pretty small, 11, something like that. So that's where that is at. Okay, so once you've done your test print, let me just start a new one again. Tools, Labels, blah, blah, blah. That's all good there. Mail Merge. I'm going to Get List. I'm going to open the data source. In this case, it's that spreadsheet that I called Label Setup. Click OK. And it's going to pop up. I'm going to use all of sheet 1. I'm going to insert the street, return to the next line, the city, comma, then space, the state, then a space, and then the zip code, click OK, go down here to click on open a new document, and now I can see I got 30 on there. Okay, so from there I can do my test print and make sure everything lines up, and then I can actually put my labels in my printer and print them right onto the labels. All right, I hope that is helpful. You could actually save this document and call it return address labels number 1 or whatever you want to call it. And that way, next time you need to print just the return address labels, you can open up this document and print them from there. All right, I hope that's helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.